In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 most powerful things you can do to maximize your book's sales and profits during Q4. My name is Dorian. I've made well over $1 million in KDP royalties. Check my other videos. I show my account. It's real. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm also in a mastermind of 3 people, myself and 2 others. And between us, we've sold $10 million of books on KDP and made about $4 million in royalties. I've also helped my family, friends, and students grow their KDP businesses and actually make real profits and, in a few cases, life-changing income. It's not easy. It takes work. It takes effort, but I've done it multiple times. Today, I'm going to show you the 5 most important things that I do for my books to make sure they are ready for the big Christmas wave, or whatever you want to call it. Q4 for me is kind of a misnomer because the craziness doesn't really start until the day after Thanksgiving. And this year, that's going to be Friday, November 29th. That's the day that feels like you're on a rocket ship taking off, and it's always thrilling, and I've never been disappointed by the huge spike in revenue that happens. So if you have a book or multiple books and you want to get the most out of this huge wave, it's not too late to optimize your Amazon page and your advertising. And I'm going to show you exactly what to do. And by the way, the advertising tip is going to be a bonus at the end of the video. And another thing, if you want a cheat sheet that shows you even more than what I'm going to show you in this video, you can grab it at the link in the description below. It's free, just come on over and grab it. So number 1, let's start with the obvious, your book cover. Your book cover drives your click-through rate and your conversion rate, your CTR and your CVR. It's the single most important part of your book. Let's have a look at Amazon's top 100 books. Now, looking through here, do you see any covers that look homemade or crappy? No, you don't. How do you think they got those covers? Obviously, they hired a professional designer. But there's a second part that most people don't know about. They tested. And I assure you, they did a lot of testing. So my question to you is, have you tested your book cover? If you haven't, then you're probably leaving money on the table. And you're probably spending more than you need to on advertising. Funny thing is that the longer I publish, the more I realize how important testing is. Testing is so important to me that I've even developed my own testing platform, which has become one of the key ways that I help my coaching students and also grow my business. So let's have a quick look at a popular testing platform called PickFu. As you can see, there are different things that you can test. You can test the title, you can test the cover, you can test your marketing. All of these are great tests to do, and I run all of these tests on all of my books, and I encourage all of my students to do the same. So if you've ever wondered if your cover is good, if you looked at it and thought, why aren't people buying my book? Isn't it a good cover? Doesn't it look like a good book? Well, you don't have to wonder. In fact, you should not be the judge of that. Your customers and the public should be the judge of whether your book cover is good or not. So if you test it, you'll know if it's better than your competition, and if not, you'll learn how to improve it. So it's better to know these things than to be completely in the dark. The next thing is your pricing. If your price is too low, people will think it's not a good book. That's just human psychology. They'll think the reason the price is low is because it's a crap book, right? And conversely, if the price is too high for your niche, they'll look for an alternative that's cheaper. So the best strategy is to stay within the norms of your niche. You want to be with the best sellers in your niche. People will assume that your book is of a similar quality if it's the same price or around the same price as the best sellers in your niche. And that's a good thing. And the reason that the price is on this list is because it's something that you can change so easily. And between now and the start of the Christmas wave, you can test a couple of different price points, and you'll see pretty quickly if that changes how people respond to your book. Okay, number 3 is your A+ content. If you don't have A+ content, then you should consider adding it. Amazon says that it increases sales by 8%, and for certain types of A+ content, even up to 20%. In my experience, really good A+ can have a large effect on your sales. So let's have a look at a couple of reasonably effective A+ content. First, it has a nice hero shot with a headline. Now, the headline is something that you can test, so you can be sure to grab people's attention. And then there are a couple of panels that show what's in the book. So it's so much better to demonstrate with pictures or diagrams than to say things with words, because people can understand really, really quickly. And A+, for the most part, is a visual experience. People glance, people scan, and if you can impart to them, if you can convey to them what's in your book and all the benefits and how your book will help them, if you can do that really efficiently, then you have A+ that's working well. The other thing you need to make sure that you convey is that your book is professional. And so if your A+ kind of looks amateurish, then that's going to say a lot of things. Even if you have the right words on the A+, if the A+ looks amateurish, people will assume that the book is also made by an amateur. So if you're not a designer, I mean like a good designer, I suggest hiring someone who has experience with A+ to help you. And make sure you've done your customer research to know what words to use inside your A+. You'll need to write a headline, benefits, examples, use cases, and all of these things that you can get very easily from customer research. So if you want more detail about this, check out my cheat sheet. I do talk in more detail about all the things in your A+ content that you can do to make it really powerful. Okay, the next is your reviews. Now, everyone talks about reviews, but I'm still surprised at how many books really don't have enough reviews or have terrible reviews and still advertise and you still expect to make sales. So you need to have at least 10 reviews and preferably more before people start taking those reviews seriously. And if your rating is too high, like a perfect 5.0 rating, people will automatically assume it's fake. I know that I do. I know a lot of people do. So here's what great social proof looks like. A bunch of reviews, some photos, some videos, and a general feeling that the book has an active audience and they like the book. If you don't have all these elements in place, then you can get busy putting them into place. And if you don't have enough reviews, there are sites like Pubby and a few others that seem to be on the right side of Amazon's guidelines, but you still need to be careful. Like anything that's sort of a little bit in the gray area or maybe is white hat, but just getting a little too close to that line, you just have to be careful because you want to keep your KDP account and you don't want to do anything that could endanger it. All right, now the fifth thing is your book description. Let's look at a couple of well-written and well-formatted book descriptions. The main points here are that you need to have a headline that captures someone's attention. And by the way, you can test your headline, as I mentioned. And I do test my headlines. Once I started doing that, I started getting better results. Now, a few other things going on here are you want to look at what's going on above the fold. Is it easy to pick out important words and ideas just by scanning? So most people don't read, they just scan. So you want some bold words and some space in between the lines to make it easy for someone who's scanning to see the important messages and to want to stop and read. And that's why you have to be very careful about your formatting. You don't want a big wall of text that requires somebody to kind of get in there and look at every word and try to make out what's important and what's not. Don't make me read. Just show me the important stuff. I'm in a hurry. I want the thing that I'm looking for. Don't make me put effort into learning about your book. Just tell me. Just show me. So that's why it's really important to take care of your formatting and to be very careful about the words you put above the fold. Another thing is that if you have a nonfiction book, then a list of benefits makes sense, and you should have one. And if you do, make sure that the top part of that list is above the fold so that people know that there's more to read and so that they click the Read More link. That way they'll see the entire description. Okay, now here's the bonus, and this is going to be on advertising. So there are two main things that you need to make sure you've got covered during Q4, during the big wave. The first is you need to make sure you have enough budget to cover the advertising costs that will happen during December and January. So those are the two biggest months in my experience. And ad costs can jump. I'm not talking about the price per click. I'm talking about your invoices. Your invoices can jump, between the rest of the year. Every month you get a certain amount. In December and January, and also starting in November, these costs can jump 4 or 6 times higher, or maybe even higher than that. And that's good if you are controlling your costs, because if you are paying more for advertising and you're making money while you are advertising, you're simply making more money. So the key here is to have enough budget that you can keep the advertising turned on during those months and to control your costs. And if you do, then you should be printing money during these months. So the second part of this is you need to control your advertising costs. You do that by going into your ad console. And I like to organize my columns to see the clicks, the orders, and the ACoS. And I look for a clicks to orders ratio that's higher than 15:1. And if I see that, then I investigate further and I look for the keywords that are causing that to happen, and then I turn them off. So an average clicks to orders ratio is 10:1, and anything under that is better than average. So for example, if it's 5:1, then your conversion ratio is 20%, and that's good. If it's 10:1, your conversion ratio is 10%, and that's average. And if it's 15:1, you're looking at maybe 7.5% conversion rate, which is below average. And then if it slips into 20:1 or higher, then you're doing really badly and you have to turn off some keywords. You got to find those keywords that are causing an outsized impact on your advertising, and then you need to turn those off. So if you do those two things, manage your ads so that you're making a profit, and you make sure that you have enough budget to handle the larger than usual advertising invoices, then you can maximize your profits confidently during December and January. So those are the 6 things, 5 things plus the bonus, that are the most important things you can do right now to maximize your profits in the next few months. This is your chance to catch the Christmas wave and to sell your books to all those people who want to buy gifts for their family and loved ones, and then in January to buy books for themselves when they're all excited and motivated about the new year. Many KDP publishers make half of their income during this time of year. So if you take the next couple of weeks to optimize, you'll be in a really great position to catch the wave. And to help you do that, I've made an Amazon cheat sheet that shows you what to do and how. It's a step-by-step guide to make sure you're covering all of the essentials to attract more readers and boost your sales. Don't leave money on the table this season. Just click the link in the description below to access my cheat sheet instantly. And if you're serious about scaling your KDP business and want some extra help, consider joining my coaching program. I work with authors one-on-one to refine strategies, improve listings, grow book catalogs, and grow sales effectively. So if you want a clear and quick path to success, click the coaching link below in the description. So click subscribe, grab your cheat sheet, reach out if you're interested in coaching, and let's make your book stand out on Amazon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.